Hi everyone, Jane here. Today I am going to build a worm bin. In this video I will share with you the materials that I will need to build it and also the process. To build a worm bin, what you will need is a storage box, some cardboard, shredded newspapers. You can use some dead clippings from your yard, your worm food, soil, and of course drilling tool, because you will need to poke holes in your storage. If you don't have a drill, what you could use is nail and hammer. This is an 18-gallon container. I know it's pretty big. You can go a much smaller size. The reason I have this 18-gallon container and I'm using it is because I have plenty of these containers, so I figured I'll go ahead and use one of my containers rather than going to the store and purchase one. If I have one handy, might as well use it. If this is your first time building or starting a worm bin, I recommend a much smaller size container so you know what you're getting yourself into. The first thing that I would like to share is your storage bin. Make sure your storage has a lid. The purpose of the lid is going to be used as a base for your worm bin. It will hold or catch any excess water. If you like, you can purchase another storage bin and you can use it as a base to hold any excess water. But right now we're just doing it pretty simple and you don't have to spend so much money in a simple worm bin. So the first step is to poke holes at the bottom. Just put a few to where it's enough that any build-up water at the bottom will run off. Since these are going to be deeper, the water in here will stay, so you do want to put holes in here as well. Now that we've poked holes at the bottom, the next step is to poke holes on the side just to allow your worms to have nice air circulation happening. So there we have it. This is the container that we'll be using as a worm bin. But the first thing you want to put in are some cardboard at the bottom. The next step is to add some soil. The next step you want to add, if you have some, are dead leaves. The next step you want to add are your shredded newspaper. For this one, I'm actually using shredded phone book paper. That's about it. What I'm going to do next is wet the newspaper a little bit. Now, a quick tip, the water you want to use for your worm bin, don't use directly tap water. They have chlorine and other chemicals that you really don't want right now. I'm going to put the final soil on top. If you're ordering your worms, you can go ahead and put in whole vegetables. You don't have to shred it. After you put in everything, you can give your worm bin a week to let the food break down. Or unless if you need your worm bin right now, what you will need is processed food. Processed meaning it's shredded in a blender or a food processor so that it's already starting to break down. And what you want to do is you want to put it in a corner so they can use that as a feeding area. So here are the worms. I went ahead and added a few wet newspapers in there and they're making a home. Check them out. Lots of worms in there. See that? So, time to go ahead and put them in this new home I made for them. So, the leftover soil, which I have right here, this soil right here is rich in nutrients for my garden, so it's super cool. But I've noticed there are lots of little worm eggs in here, so what I will do is I will put some back in here and maybe start a new batch, let the eggs hatch, harvest it, and go ahead and place them on here. So what I'll do now to finalize it is just place some more newspaper clippings. Here is my worm bin that I started. It's a few days after I put this thing together. What I have here is a cardboard piece that I used as a lid. And in here I also added a few more newspapers. It's pretty easy and pretty simple to build a worm bin, and I encourage everyone out there to give it a try. Hopefully you find this video to be helpful to you on your worm bin adventure. Thanks for watching. Bye.